This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, today we are going to see how to integrate Maven and Jenkins. I would say Git, Maven, and Jenkins. This is a complete CI. Okay, complete CI in the sense up to this we will clone this project. Okay, and we will write. We will execute some Maven goals in Jenkins, and this Maven will generate artifacts. Okay, so this is one complete continuous integration process. So that is quite simple. For this, the requirements are we have to install Git in Jenkins server. Okay, Git in Jenkins server. Also, we need to git install Maven and Jenkins server. Okay, Git and Maven and Jenkins server. So we know how to install Maven. Okay, and the next thing is we need to define the Git and Maven paths in Jenkins global tools configuration. Okay, so in Jenkins global tool configuration, we need to define this Git and okay, Maven paths. Check this. Okay, this is our Jenkins server. Okay, we go to dashboard, manage Jenkins in the global tool configuration. Okay, so by default it is taking the Git path, and if you install the Git on server, then there is no issue. It will communicate the right information. So Git version 2.341 is already installed in my server. Okay, if you click on this Maven installations, if you see this, I have already defined my path. We all know that how to install Maven on Ubuntu server, right? I already explained. So you can install this Ubuntu and Jenkins server. Okay, and you need to define that path here. So simply, how do you know this Maven path? You just simply click mvn hyphen version. Sorry, type mvn hyphen version. Here it says Maven home /opt /Maven, right? So you can give any name. It's not necessary to give mvn underscore home. Just for realization purpose. Sorry, realization purpose, I gave this name and I defined the path here. And also in the JDK installations, you can define your path. Okay, Java underscore home and this default path. How to know this Java path? Okay, echo dollar Java underscore home. Okay, if you type this command, echo dollar Java underscore home, it will give you the default path where Java is installed. Okay, you can take this path and you can copy this path here. Okay, let's click on save. Now, if you go to new item, sample Maven project. Okay, sample Maven project, and you need to select Maven project here. Okay, so we have to build the code from GitHub repository. So for that we need one sample Maven project. So while when I explaining about the Maven project and Maven class, now we simply tested one Maven project, right? So I'm just taking that for demonstration purpose. Okay. Now this is a single module and a multi-module simple Maven project, which will create some jars. Okay, we will create some jars. Now copy this link. This is the Jenkins server. Here in this session, you just need to define the Maven repository. Sorry, this Maven project repository, and we don't have any credentials since that is a public repo. Okay. The next thing is we need to select the branch. See here we have only master branch, so I am selecting this master branch. Okay. So you can ignore this or keep this like this. Okay. Build whenever a snapshot dependency is built in the sense. This Maven actually when you run this, it will build two snapshots. Okay. One snapshot is nothing but the current what do you say, the current image of the execution. Okay, image in the sense actually whatever the commands we execute, it will create one snapshot. It's simply like it's like a jar. Snapshot is nothing but jar. So the next steps, if you come here by default in the build session, you can see this root. Okay, this root POM, it is picking the pom.xml. Okay, it is picking the pom.xml. So for Maven project, it is mandatory that it should contain pom.xml, right? So you don't need to define any pod. What this build option will do is you go to your GitHub repository and then it will pick the pom.xml. Okay. And only thing is we need to give goals. Okay. We need to give goals. Suppose I want to test this project. Okay. I just wanted to test this project. MVN test we use it, right, for testing. So I'm just giving one goal here. Let's say one. Click on build now. Let's see what happens. So Jenkins started one build. Click on this. So it is cloning the project from GitHub repository. Okay, and fetching all the changes and commits. Okay, so you can ignore about this warnings. Okay, these are something like some problems are encountered. So this code is old code, right? So written by some people. So it will show the warning. You don't need to give anything about warning. We have to take, be cautious about errors on the exceptions. Okay. So this project it is testing this, okay, repository, Maven repository, and it is showing some test results. Number of tests run for each and every project, either it's a single module or multi-module. Here it says build is success. In a sense, this testing is success. So let's try to modify the project. Okay. Now I would like to give package. Let's see, compile and package. Save this. I gave two words, okay, and let's build it. So MVN compiler is compiling the project, okay, and also it will create the jars. Okay, if you see this, build is success and building jar. So what package command will do? MVN package, it will build the jar. Okay. Okay, and also it is compiling the project. Okay. Now let's go to the location where we have our jars in the server. Okay. You see this, our default directory in the Jenkins is varlib Jenkins, and as I mentioned earlier, all our project related information will be saved in workspace, and in this path, okay, we have jars. So let's copy from here, okay, to target. Too many arguments. Let's try this. See, right now we are in this part, okay, in the Maven project, sample Maven project, and single module and target. Let's do ls. So we have our single module jar here, okay, like this. cd dot plus, okay. Also we have this multi-module. Let's check this. cd. So I think this multi-module is, it's in web apps target folder, I guess. So let's check this. I have seen this part somewhere, okay. If you see this, we have web app.org. So like this, Maven project will save, okay, the information like this complete jar and all the build information in Jenkins workspace. Okay. So this is about Jenkins and Maven integration. You can define any number of goals. So all the goals in this project, okay, in the configuration session, you can define any goals, Maven goals, okay. And also one thing we should remember is we need to define our Java path. Also, we need to define our Java path and JDK path. Okay, Git will automatically take this installation by default. What it will say, it will take the path, Git path from the server. So whereas in Maven installation, we need to define the path where Maven is installed on the server. Okay, this is simple. You know how to install the Maven. Okay. So the next topic is master slave. Okay, configuration. Jenkins master slave configuration, or you can say setup. So what is this master slave setup actually? So let's say for example, uh, when we have huge load, okay, like so let's say for example, when we have a huge load and we want to share it with someone else because we can't bear that load. Basically, what we'll do, we'll hire one person, right? So in terms of what is it? Um, casual activity, I'm saying. So if you are carrying any some 50 kgs of big bag, rice bag, and you don't want to work on that much. So let's say for example, if you don't want to take that much baggage, what do you say? What do? You'll make it 25 kg bag, and then you'll share the load to some other person. Like this, whenever there is huge load on Jenkins server, okay. So Jenkins server is a master server. Let's say for example, Jenkins server is a master server, and whenever there is a huge load on Jenkins server, it cannot perform all the builds. Okay, for that purpose, it requires some slaves. Slave is nothing but an agent, some agent to run all the Jenkins activities. So for that purpose, we will create slaves and we will integrate this slave with the master, Jenkins master. So if you initiate any build on the master, okay, then by default that build. So there is one option to trigger build on the slave. So if you enable that option, by default this Jenkins master will build the application on Jenkins slave. Okay. Let's see like how to uh, integrate master and slave. So for that purpose, it would be difficult for me to write all the steps. So I have written all the steps in Notepad. So for this Jenkins master and slave setup, okay, we need some prerequisites. What do you mean by prerequisites? Some pre-setup is required. Okay, we need to do that pre-setup. Pre-setup is nothing but we need one Jenkins server. Okay, in Jenkins server, which is nothing but master, and also we need one slave server with the Java installation. Okay, because Jenkins is a Java-based server, right? So we need to have this Java installation on slave server. This slave can be anything, okay, any server. So any EC2 server or anything. So for the first procedure is we need to go to manage nodes and we need to add new node and add the name as permanent agent. So this is for adding the node. I will clearly explain this steps later when I create this node. Okay, but for before that we need a slave. Okay, we need a slave which can be any mission. For that purpose, I have created one Ubuntu mission. Okay, this is a plain Ubuntu mission. I haven't done anything. I simply created one plain EC2 instance. Okay, I just named this instance as Ubuntu slave. So let's connect to this first. Okay, login as user. So if you use clear command, it will clear the screen. Okay. Now, so what is the requirement? First thing is we need master, and second thing is we need server. So already we installed Jenkins on one particular server. Okay. So I am just taking the I am just using that server as a Jenkins master, and I have created one Ubuntu server for creating making it as slave. And the requirements are like this. Okay, the requirements are like this. First thing is you need the same Java version. Okay, on both machines. Version should be same. Okay, and same Maven version. In case if we run Maven projects, okay, in case if you run Maven projects, you need same Maven version as well. So Maven needs to be installed in this server, and also that needs to be same version. So if you use AWS service, make sure your Jenkins URL should be updated with the latest public IP. So I will explain this once we install this agent and all. So this are public IP, which is in Jenkins URL, and this public IP, and the node command. Okay, it will generate one command. It should be same. So first let's try to install Java on the slave machine, because slave machine requires Java, right? For that, how to install Java Ubuntu 2.04. Okay, this is our latest version. Simply just click on this. Okay, now just update the packages. Okay, so we know if there is no Java in it, even if you give this version, it will give this command. So we directly install this. Sudo apt install there. It will ask for confirmation, and this just enter yes, y. Okay. So just install JDK as well. Let's install JDK. Let's check Java version. So this is we have 11.0.16 Java version, okay. And I'm going to my master server. I'm checking Java version here. So same version. By default, if you use default JDK for installation, it will do what it will do. It will install the latest version, and the latest version is 11.06 in both machines. Okay. Now let's try to create one agent. Okay. Let's try to create one agent in Jenkins server. So the here process is manage Jenkins and then go to manage nodes and clouds and add a new node. Add the node name as permanent agent. Node as permanent agent. Just click on this, and here by default Jenkins will act as one slave, okay, because it needs to work itself, right? Further, it has this built-in node by default. So this slave yesterday I created for testing purpose, and this, okay, it is not connected since the server is not active. It is in disabled mode. And let's try to create one more node. Okay, I am giving this node name as Jenkins slave. Okay, Jenkins slave, and I'm making this as permanent agent. Okay, copy existing node in the sense we have already one slave node, right? So that's why it is asking. But since this is a new class, this is a demonstration, so we are using this. So the description can be anything. Okay, suppose let's say for example if we want to build some Java project, so description like Jenkins slave to build Java application. Okay, I'm simply giving us Java app. So this number of executors, suppose if you want to run one job or two jobs, okay, or number of jobs in this slave, so you can use this option. So for time being, I'm just giving two jobs. Okay, I'm just giving two jobs. So remote root directory in the sense, remote in the sense our slave server. Okay, definitely it should have one server to take all to record all the activities of this Jenkins. Okay, because we did not install Jenkins on slave server, right? So for that purpose, this slave nodes one particular directory to say record all the activities. Okay, let's say for example, let's consider /opt. Okay, by default this Maven will have this /opt, right? And then we will create one directory called something like build one. Okay, something like build one. It's, yeah. So what is this label? So label is nothing but a name. This name, this is the name of Jenkins slave. Okay, this is the name of Jenkins slave because Jenkins master should know the slave name. Okay, that is the name of Jenkins slave. This label, it is nothing but whenever you build any project, that project should build with one one name, right? So this is the build name. Okay, whenever you initiate this Jenkins build on slave, all those jobs will be saved with this label name. Okay, All these jobs will be started with labeling. So let's say, like, we can give it as something like Java hyphen BUILD, Java hyphen BUILD. So because if we save, if we run Java applications, you can give Java any label you can give it. Okay, if it's .NET, you can give .NET. So use this node as much as possible. What is this option? Okay, so there are two options like this. First thing is, I want to use this slave to the extreme level. Okay, extreme level in the sense I want to use it with all the options, with all the jobs. And the second option is only build jobs with the label expression matching this node. Okay, label expression matching with this node in the sense, whenever if you give this label uh, and the different server, something like, it should pick up that. Okay, even if this matches with that server, then only it will start the build. But almost 90% or 100% of the time in the organizations, we use this default option only. Even in the Jenkins official documentation also, they will mention this. So for this purpose, we use this. And this is a launch method. Launch method is nothing but how you want to connect your Jenkins slave to master. Okay, how you want to connect to Jenkins server using these options. So there are three options. First thing is launch agent by connecting it to the controller. Okay, so if you want to execute commands on the controller, okay, controller is nothing but a slave. Okay, here don't get confused. Controller is nothing but slave. Sorry, controller is nothing but a master. Okay, launch agent by connecting it to controller. So here controller is nothing but a master. Now agent is there. Agent is nothing but slave. Okay, if you want to execute these commands in slave, okay, you need to select this option, and by default this is the best option to what is it, connect the slave to the master. Okay, and the second option is launch agent via execution of command on the controller. This is for, if you want to connect your slave by executing commands on the master node. Okay, so this is for launch agents via SSH. అంటే SSH protocol యూజ్ చేసి కనెక్ట్ అవ్వడానికి. This is very very complex. Okay, ఇది కీ అథెంటికేషన్స్ అడుగుతుంది, లేకపోతే ఇంకా నోన్ హోస్ట్ అని different ఫైల్స్ అడుగుతూ ఉంటుంది ఈ లాంచ్ ఏజెంట్స్. Okay, so by default this is one of the best option. First option is one of the best option to create any to connect to agent to any master node. So I'm selecting default options. Okay, default options are always best. And disable work directory. So if you don't want to save your logs, okay, Jenkins logs, you can disable this. But since I want logs as well, so generally we want logs for any activity, right? So I'm just keeping it custom work directory path. You don't need to mention anything, okay, because it will automatically take this path /opt/build. And also internal data recovery, remoting. Okay, remoting is nothing but if there is anything internal data directory remoting, it is nothing but whenever you start this build under this /opt build directory, there will be one folder creating this remoting or something like that, and it will capture all the activities. Okay, what is happening in the background and all. So we don't need to really bother about these options. These are all default options. Okay, we don't need to change or anything in this. Okay, fail if workspace is missing, in the sense if there is no workspace on the slave. Okay, if you select this slave won't work. So generally our intention is to make the slave work. Okay, so we don't select this option. Use this WebSocket. What is this option actually? Okay, use WebSocket to connect to Jenkins master rather than TCP port. Okay, for background, it means that this WebSocket by default it will be having one JLNP protocol. Okay, so some Jenkins protocol. So if you use this WebSocket, it will definitely connect the server to the Jenkins slave to the master. So we are using this. Okay, this is like a simple protocol. It's like a port or something like that. By default, Jenkins, if you use this port, if you use this option WebSocket, it will connect the master to the slave. Okay, and coming to this availability, keep this agent online as much as possible. Okay, online as much as possible in the sense I want to use this node every time. Okay, I want to use this node every time. That is the reason I'm just selecting this option. Bring this agent online according to schedule. Okay, if you select this option, if you have to set up some cran time, cran job. Okay, cran job I explained right in the last class. Like this, you need to set up some cran job. Then only depending on that cran job, this build will act. Okay, so generally we don't set up any cran jobs for slaves. Okay, because we need active um, work environment. Means if there is a when there is a load, we want to build our project. So you don't need to select this option. Bring this agent online when in demand and take offline when ideal. Okay. Meaning, suppose whenever there is a work, it should activate the agent, and whenever there is no work, it should stop the agent automatically. So for time being, this is the best option. Okay. I'm selecting this. Okay. What we have done, we gave the name as Jenkins slave, and we give description. Number of executors are 2. So remote directory, even if there is no build one directory in this, what is it? Remote root directory, remote machine slave, it will create one. Okay, it will create one build one directory. And I'm just giving this Java build as my label. Label is nothing but the build name. Okay, and usage, I want to use this load as much as possible, and launch agent by connecting it to the controller. Meaning, I want to connect my agent to Jenkins by executing my commands on agent. Agent is nothing but slave. So this is the internal data directory is nothing but it will record all the activities, and use WebSocket is nothing but to connect to the Jenkins server. We need this option and keep this agent as online as much as possible. Okay, let's save this. Okay, let's save this. If you save this by default, it is showing into mark, right? So if you save this by default, it is showing into mark. Agent slave, Jenkins slave. This is to save builder Java applications. Okay, this slave is to build Java applications. This into mark is nothing but this agent is not active. Okay, this agent is not active. Okay, we want to activate this Jenkins by connecting it to the slave. How can we do that? So for that purpose, we need to run this command line. Run these commands in command line. Okay, both are not required. One command is required. Okay, one command is required. So any one command will work. Okay, so for that purpose, Java-jar. Okay, and this jar name jar path. Okay, and I told you right, JNLP protocol, there will be something like that, and also our Jenkins IP address. Okay, Jenkins IP address. Now, if you tell this is a Jenkins slave directory, and this is what is it? Jenkins agent. It will create one secret ID for connecting it to Slack. And also this work directory is nothing but the directory where Jenkins jobs should run. So we need some workspace in the build slave machine, right? So that is the directory. But connect to this slave machine, we need jar, right? So we need jar. So we have to download this jar. Okay, we need to click on this agent jar. By default, it will download this jar. Okay, by default, it will download this jar. Okay, now I just wanted to go to this folder. Okay, I just want to go to this folder. So I'm just taking this agent jar. Let's copy this. Let's cut this directly. Go to local disk E. Okay, I just want to save my jar here. Okay, I just want to save my jar here. I simply downloaded the jar and I just copied my jar to this location. Okay, this location. Now, what I want to do, I just want to run this command, but my jar is in Windows. Windows in the sense in my local laptop. This jar should be in a remote server. Okay, this jar should be in remote server. Okay, where is my remote server? This is the remote server. Okay, let's go to slash home. /ubuntu. So in this Ubuntu user we don't have any files. Let's copy that file here. Okay. Where is my slave machine? I think this is the slave machine. Okay. If I /ubuntu, let's see what happens. See what it is doing. This is copying my agent jar. Okay. I'll try to explain what is this command. Okay. What is this command? So if you want to copy any file from your local laptop from local server to remote server, okay, remote server, we need SCP command. Okay. SCP command. So SCP -i is nothing but it will ignore what I say, even if it's in capital letters or what is it, small letters like case sensitive or something like that. And we need our PEM key, right? PEM key to connect to the server, remote server, right? So I'll just simply copy it with this command, okay? This connection command, okay? So this command, and I just copied here instead of SSH. If you see this, instead of SSH, I just marked it as SCP. Okay, I just replaced it as SCP, and then okay, what did I do? I just give some space and my agent jar jar. We need to copy this file, right? I just give agent jar. Okay, and in this mission, I want to copy my agent jar jar in home/ubuntu path. So that is for that purpose. For that purpose, I just give my destination path /home/ubuntu. ఓకే ఫస్ట్ ఎస్సిపి కమాండ్ ఎందుకు యూజ్ చేస్తామంటే ఎప్పుడైనా మన లోకల్ నుంచి రిమోట్ సర్వర్కి ఫైల్ కాపీ చేయాలంటే ఓకే ఎలా చేయాలన్నట్లు దానికి ఎస్సిపి కమాండ్ వాడతాం. సో రిమోట్ సర్వర్ నుంచి లోకల్ సర్వర్ కూడా చేయొచ్చు. సింపుల్గా మీరు ఏం చేస్తారంటే ఈ ఏమంటారు ఇది ఉంది కదా ఏజెంట్ జార్ తీసుకెళ్ళి దాన్ని వెనక పెట్టారనమాట. ఓకే ఇక్కడ సో అక్కడ ఇక ఏమంటారు ఇక్కడ సంథింగ్ లైక్ డాట్/ అని మనం ఏ పాత్రలోకి అయితే మనం ఇక్కడ మనం పాత్ర డిఫైన్ చేసాం కదా అలా లోకల్లో ఏ పాత్ లో పెట్టాలనుకుంటున్నామో ఆ పాత్ తీసుకెళ్ళి ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇక్కడ కాపీ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నాము ఈ పాత్ తీసుకెళ్ళి ఇలా కాపీ చేసి ఇక్కడ బ్యాక్ లో ఇవ్వాలన్నమాట. బ్యాక్ లో ఇస్తే అప్పుడు అది వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. ఓకే సో జస్ట్ అండర్స్టాండ్ దిస్ ఫర్ టైం బీయింగ్ మనకి ఇంతవరకు చాలు. అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ థింగ్ ఇస్ we need to check if the agent.jar is in our server or not. Okay, now if we do ls, see it is copied to this remote server. Okay, so we need to execute that command. What is this command? This java-jar command in our agent slave machine. But there is one one mistake in this command. What is that mistake? During this when I started this session, I told you, right, if you use AWS server, make sure that your Jenkins URL should be updated to the latest public IP. Okay, latest public IP. So now if you say this here, the public IP is 52.207.241.10. Okay, this is the Jenkins server public IP. But if you see this in this command, it has 54.234.49.53. Meaning whenever you stop and start this EC2 instance, okay, whenever you stop and start this EC2 instance, by default, what do you say, this public IP will change. In the AWS, this is the AWS concept, okay. Even you can check this later when you practice. So these EC2 instances, okay, this public IP. So let's say for example, this public IP is there, right? So this public IP each and every time it will change. Okay, each and every time when you stop and start this instance, okay, by default it will change. So um, but so what is this IP? How did this IP came? Yesterday, not yesterday, like before starting this mission, whenever I started my Jenkins server. Okay, so by default it will take this IP. So we can check this IP in this dashboard. Okay, I'll tell you wait. In the dashboard, we go to this manage Jenkins, configure system options. Okay, so say this is the type Jenkins URL IP. So how did this come here? Because when we install Jenkins, by default, wherever there in this public IP, whatever the public IP is there, it will record it. Okay, and we need to change this IP to the current IP. Okay, we need to change this IP to current public IP. So the current public IP, you can take it from here or here as well. Both are set. 241.10, right? Here is also 241.10. I'm just replacing this IP. So here I'm just removing this IP and giving this IP. Okay, and let's save this. And if you go to manage Jenkins and manage nodes and Jenkins slave, you see this command is changed now. So 52 207 to 4110, and then again 52 207 to 4110. So this is changed now. Okay, now I want to record all my activities in this /opt/build, right? So I want to move this agent jar to that location. Okay, mv agent jar to /opt. So since we don't have build one directory, we'll simply move this to /opt directory. Sudo ls, we don't have this file here. Let's go to cd/opt. We'll change this directory. And the ls, see we have agent.jar. Okay. Now I'm copying this command. Just execute. Let's see what happens. See this status connected. Okay, you should get status like this. Okay, you should get the status like this. If you go back to nodes, see the into mark is gone now. Into mark, it's gone. Okay, so agent is connected. The status is like agent is connected. So this is how you connect the Jenkins. First thing is, what you need to do is you need to create a node. Okay, simply you need to click on the node and you need to give all the values like that, like I explained. And then what it will do, it will create one command like this. Okay, so and then next you need to download this jar, agent jar, okay, onto your local laptop and keep this local this agent.jar wherever you have your public key, sorry, pem files, because we have to copy this jar file to our remote location. Okay, the remote slave machine, because we need to execute our commands from the remote slave machine, right? So for that purpose, just copy this agent.jar to here, and also you have to use this command. So I just simply created this command. Okay, I just simply created this command. How I created this command is I just took this. Okay, as such, Jenkins server in order to communicate to this server, in order to control this server, we have this command, right? So I just copied this server, okay, command. Sorry, I just copied this command, and then instead of SSH, I replaced SCP, okay, and after this PEM file, I gave agent.jar to copy this agent.jar to this machine, and in this machine, I want to copy my file to this location /home/ubuntu. So by default for Ubuntu user, we are connecting to Ubuntu user, right? So for that purpose, in Ubuntu user, we need to copy this file from to Ubuntu directory. Okay. So for that purpose, I just copied this jar to this location. Okay. And then in my Jenkins node or in the slave node, I just ran this command. Okay. This command. So and also this IP, it should be same with the Jenkins URL. So each and every time when you start and stop this mission, this IP will change. But in real, what is it? In the live environment in projects, what happens is they will take one static IP, elastic IP. Okay, elastic IP in the sense they will buy one IP for this purpose only. Okay, so you don't need to worry about it. It won't change. It will be default IP address. For practice purpose, we are using this mission site. So this will be like that only. Now, how you change that? Go to dashboard and manage Jenkins, configure system. In this configure system, if you scroll down, there will be some location, Jenkins URL location. You need to give that public IP here. Okay, and then save. So again, go to now Jenkins, manage Jenkins. Here, nodes. Okay, so we have to copy that Java jar command, and you need to execute that command in this slave server. So it should show status like connected. Okay, if there is any exception, it will show status like something like Java exception or something like that. So at that time, you need to compare these IP addresses. Okay. Now my intention is to run one application on slave node. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm just creating one project. Okay, I'm just creating one project. I'm creating simple project like slave project, something like slave test. Please type. Click on OK. I don't want to use anything. Okay, I'm simply executing some shell command. Okay, some shell command. Execute shell and date. I'm just giving my date command. Save this. Okay, save this and click on build now. Oh, sorry, we forgot to select the slave. Okay, wait. So if you go to this configuration, I want to start, restrict this my build in my slave mission only. Means this build should happen only on slave mission. Here in this general session, restrict where this project can be run. Okay, restrict where this project can be run. Here I will give label expression, right? We gave that label expression, right? We need to give it something like we gave something Java, Java hyphen build, right? So give it and ignore this. This is not nothing. So and save it and click on build now. See, building remotely on Jenkins slave. Okay, with this label expression. And ఈ name to Jenkins slave build start అయిందన్నమాట. Okay, and we execute a date command. See, Sunday, August 28th, and then some UTC time. UTC, I think it is Netherlands time. Okay, and the year. So like this, we have to build our project. Okay, now let's go back to this and configure. I'm using same option only, and with git we have this project light, shell project. Yes, script. Okay, just copy this, and this is the main branch, and I have user file. Okay, so this is my branch. Okay, now I want to run the shell script sh user.sh. This is my user.sh, this is my file name, and I want to build this project on remote machine. Where is this? Yeah, here. Save, and let's give build now. See, build is successful, and here it says building remotely on Jenkins dev. Means this build is happening on Jenkins dev. Workspace is this /opt build one workspace slave test. Okay. In my remote machine, let's see, Control C. So I think we are in /opt directory only. We can directly give /build /workspace. 1 minute. HTMLs. Okay, we have build one, right? cd b tab ls. See, we have workspace here. So we have slave test. This is our project. Okay. So I think it's not saving anything. Okay, I just run this project. So like this, it will store all the what is a build related information. Okay, cd dot. Let's check what is this remote. So it is capturing all the logs and cache information. So all the logs related to this what is a build. Okay. So this is Jenkins master slave configuration, and also I have documented everything. Yeah, I just documented all the steps. Okay, here. So I just replace this. Now after that we need to run command like this. Okay, so where is this command? So this, I think we did some control C, right? The connection is broken. So in this layer we have this command. The command will be like this, just giving it for example. Okay, and then it should store the status as connected. After that, in the Jenkins, once connected, you can create a or edit a job and select this option restrict where the project can be run. Okay, like this, you can connect a project, remote project.